Anal Lovers 4-pack, books 69 to 72. First time anal, virgin age gap, Brat Erotica collection. Written by Kimmy Welsh. Narrated by Talula Rouge.
Red Light Redemption, Anal Lovers 69. It was Benedict Connor's first trip around his local red light district. For decades he'd stayed away, but an increasingly fractious relationship with his wife had seen him seek comforts from elsewhere. Since the divorce, he toured the streets, glancing up at the doorways to see women framed behind glass, posing and gesturing as they tried to tempt the former teacher inside. Benedict had every intention of joining one of the women one day, but he wasn't about to venture into just anyone's private quarters. Benedict was discerning. Being in his early 40s, it didn't make sense for him to seek a woman his own age. As soon as he scrutinized each doorway, hoping to find a young 20-year-old with which to roll back the years, Benedict was in no rush. Kara Thompson was a former student of his who Benedict hadn't thought about for some years now. She had her own troubles, and she too sought solutions in the red light district, but not as a tourist. As fate would have it, that afternoon was her first shift, and as she posed in the window in her lingerie, she didn't anticipate seeing Mr. Connors stare back. Benedict watched from the street, staring up the steps with a frown. Everything was telling him he knew who he was looking at, but his brain was refusing him the last leap of understanding. "Kara?" he said to himself. It was obvious from the shocked expression of the model that it was indeed Benedict's former student. Suddenly she felt less sexy, and as Benedict approached the glass, she retreated back into her room. "Kara?" said Benedict again, putting his hand against the glass. "It's me, Mr. Connors." Kara stood where she was, her jaw clenched. She looked at the panic button and wondered if she should press it. "What are you doing here?" she said, and Benedict heard her through the glass. "What am I doing here?" he asked, putting a hand on his chest. "What are you doing here?" "Pretty obvious, isn't it?" You don't do this, Kara. This isn't the you I remember." "Things change, Mr. Connors. This is me, and this is what you do too, apparently." "Kara, let me in," said Benedict, and he tried the door. It was locked. Kara watched the handle move and saw Mr. Connors put his shoulder into the action and achieve nothing. "I haven't seen you here before," said Benedict. "It's my first day," said Kara. "Thank goodness. Look, let me in. Let's talk. We can stop this. You don't belong here." "Why are you here first?" Benedict's shoulders dropped as he stood on the step outside. "My wife and I separated, and I guess I just need comfort," he confessed. "So you came here?" I haven't been with anyone. I just like to look. I like to imagine." Kara moved closer to the glass. "I haven't been with anyone yet either." Benedict was relieved to hear the news. He put his hand back on the glass, and this time Kara did the same on the opposite side. There had always been a deeper connection that neither had allowed to flourish in the past. Benedict always felt protective of Kara and her innocence, and now it was in danger. "How have you been?" asked Benedict. Kara shrugged. "You know." "Can I come in? I'll pay for your time." Kara started to laugh and unlocked the door. "You don't have to pay me anything, Mr. Connors." Benedict stepped over the threshold, and Kara locked the door behind him and drew the curtains. He surveyed the inside of the dimly lit room. He'd never been in one before. It was small, with an exit door out of the back, and a clean-looking small bed with a chair and a desk beside it. It reminded him of his room at college. "Can I get you anything?" asked Kara. "I'm good," said Benedict, and he sat down on the chair. Kara sat on the bed, keeping her knees together. She looked down at her lingerie, realizing that the cups of her bra were sheer. Benedict had noticed that from the street. "Where are you living now?" asked Benedict. "At a friend's." "Are your parents
Sample complete. Ready to continue?